Insult to injury. The many Bay Area homeowners who say an ADU builder scammed them out of tens of thousands of dollars each are now learning the hard way that a state safety net will basically be useless to them. They say homeowners like you need to know that you are largely unprotected when a builder goes belly up, and they blame some startling state rules that they feel are inadequate.
Yeah, so consumer investigator Chmura took their concerns to state lawmakers looking for a solution. But Chris, let's start with what the problem is.
Yeah, it's the contractor's bond. Perhaps you've heard licensed, bonded, and insured. Yeah, well, it's the bond. The state requires all contractors to have a bond to pay back customers if a contractor fails. It sounds good, but it turns out California's bond offers far less protection than you might expect.
They got me.
I feel scammed.
I just want my money back.
All around the Bay Area, homeowners tell us they hired anchored tiny homes to build a backyard ADU, and they prepaid for some or all the work.
About $40,000 plus.
$80,000.
$315,700.
But now these families have unfinished projects. Why? The company's CEO told us it was just a failed, mismanaged, growing business.
I want to know where my money went.
The people who've contacted us say they're out more than $1 million collectively. Others in a Facebook group say they've lost at least another $4 million.
I mean, on one level, we feel relieved that we weren't the only ones scammed.
But on another level, the scale of this company's collapse is dealing a second blow to these families. The builder says it's exploring bankruptcy, and the state has filed to revoke its license. So customers are now filing a claim on Anchored Tiny Homes bond. In applying, they've discovered a mind-blowing mismatch. Even though the company's CEO boasted about selling hundreds of ADUs and raking in cash,
a $100 million business,
Anchored Tiny Homes bond was a mere $25,000. And that, believe it or not, met the letter of California law. It doesn't matter whether you're a solo builder doing one small project at a time, or you're Anchored Tiny Homes reportedly building hundreds of ADUs. The state of California only requires a $25,000 bond. One size fits all.
I don't understand how the bonding requirement can be that minimal.
Sadly, it gets worse. If a claim's approved, the insurance company will divide that $25,000.
And it's split up against the 400 or however many people have applied for that bond. So it's not per person, it's split.
$25,000 divided by 400 equals a mere $62.50 payout per customer, when they're each out tens of thousands of dollars.
That's insane. Why are we allowing that?
Anchored Tiny Homes customers say state law failed them, and now the contractor bond requirement must change.
It should be much higher. I mean, if we're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars, even 25 is not going to cover it.
You ought to have to post a bond that is proportionate to the potential liability you're creating.
Some states do. In Nevada, for example, contractors must carry a bond up to $500,000, based in part on future financial responsibility.
I would want to see millions of dollars in bond money.
That's former Anchored Tiny Homes COO Chris Pace. He now works for a different ADU builder. Pace says the bigger the builder is, the bigger its bond should be.
You know, if I buy another car, my insurance goes up. If you add 500 more projects, shouldn't your bond go up?
We told Anchored Tiny Homes CEO Colton Paulus we were doing this story. We asked for his input. He did not respond. We also shared our recent stories with the contractor board and local legislators who oversee the contractor law. The board told us CSLB is willing to consider changes to required bonds as needed to protect consumers. Assemblymember Mark Berman wrote us and said the stories of customers being scammed by Anchored Tiny Homes are deeply disconcerting, and I plan to explore possible legislative solutions in the coming months to try to ensure this doesn't happen again.
There's a disconnect somewhere.
These homeowners are counting on the state to take action. If nothing changes, they fear future families are destined to repeat their nightmare.
There needs to be some repercussions and something put in place to protect the people.
We reached out to the lobbying group that represents California home builders, but it did not respond. The contractor board says a meeting to discuss contractor bond requirements is scheduled in October, and we plan to attend it. If you are an Anchored Tiny Homes customer, you can join the many others who have shared their stories. Share yours by scanning the QR code on screen right now. You can fill out our consumer complaint form.
So, Chris, I can go online and I can see what a contractor's bond is, correct?
Yes.
So would that be a way that I could prevent this by shopping around and seeing who has more?
It's highly unlikely you're going to see a contractor have higher than what the state requires. Okay. There's really no incentive to have more or to pay more money for that.
Okay.
$25,000.
Eye-opening information there, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.